Do you know, a student who is preparing for IELTS for months, they're scoring good in mock tests, be it reading, writing, listening or speaking. Their band is in between 7 and 9. But when they give the actual exam, they score a band 6 or 6.5, with one of the sections scoring below 6.5, due to which they have to again spend a lot of time, money and give the exam again. We know that the student prepared with full efforts, they studied daily, gave mock tests honestly, but what went wrong? Was it their preparation or resources? Was it the way mock tests were taken, or was it the exam day jitters? In today's video, I'm going to go deep into this problem, and within the next 5 minutes, you will never lose a band between what you are scoring in mock test and on the actual IELTS exam. Before I give you the answers, I want you to understand something important. The gap between your mock test score and your actual score is not a mystery. It's not bad luck, it's not even about your English. It is a system failure, and every system failure has a root cause. And if you're watching this and you're not even sure what band you're currently at, we have a free band prediction test on Leap Scholar app. It takes a few minutes, it's completely free, and it will tell you exactly where you stand right now. Link is in the description. Check it out after this video. So today we are going to find your root cause. Let me ask you something. Where do you give your mock test? Your bedroom? Your desk? Maybe with a cup of coffee next to you, your phone face down, your door closed. It is comfortable, familiar and safe. Now where do you give your actual IELTS exam? A test center you have probably never walked into before, fluorescent lights, strangers sitting inches away from you, an invigilator walking behind you every few minutes, a clock on the wall you keep glancing at, and for computer-based tests, a keyboard that feels nothing like yours at home. And here's the hard truth. Your mock test scores are measuring how well you perform in your comfort zone. The actual exam is measuring how well you perform outside it. And if you have never bridged that gap in training, you will feel it on exam day. The fix is brutally simple. Make your mock test uncomfortable on purpose. Sit at a table, not your bed. Remove all familiar objects around you. Set a strict timer and do not pause it for anything. Give your mock test at the same time of day as your actual exam slot. Even better, go sit in a library or a cafe occasionally. Practice performing under mild pressure so that real pressure doesn't break you. A lot of students are practicing with the wrong material. They're using Cambridge books from 5 or 6 years ago. They're doing practice tests from random websites. They're solving mocks that are slightly easier, slightly shorter, or formatted slightly differently from the actual current exam. So their brain gets calibrated to a difficulty level that simply doesn't exist on exam day. And when the real paper lands in front of them, the reading passage is denser, the listening audio is faster, the writing task is phrased more ambiguously, and their calibrated brain panics because this is not what practice felt like. Always use the most recent official Cambridge IELTS books. Always check that your mock format matches the current exam format, be it academic or general training, paper-based or computer-based. The exam evolves. Your practice material must keep up with it. Now this is the one nobody wants to talk about, but it's probably the biggest one. In a mock test, nothing is at stake. If you blank out in speaking, you just pause and restart. If you run out of time in writing, you shrug and move on. There are no consequences. But on actual exam day, the stakes couldn't be higher. Your visa deadline, your university admission, thousands of rupees already spent, your family's expectations, and the worst part, you're acutely aware of all of it while sitting in that exam room. That pressure activates something in your brain called the stress response. And when the stress response kicks in, your working memory shrinks. Your ability to access vocabulary you know you have suddenly gets blocked. You start second-guessing answers you would have gotten right on autopilot at home. This is why students blank out on a simple vocabulary mid-sentence in speaking. This is why they reread the same reading passage 4 times without absorbing it. This is not a language problem, it is a pressure management problem. And the only way to solve a pressure problem is to create a pressure in practice. Time yourself strictly. And for speaking specifically, if you want to know exactly how you sound under real exam conditions, we have a free speaking test on Leap where you get evaluated and scored. It's the closest thing to the real exam you can get from your phone. Link is in the description. Now, even if your preparation is perfect, exam day execution can undo everything. Let's go through exactly how it happens. Students sleep poorly the night before because of anxiety. They wake up slightly foggy, they skip breakfast or eat too much. They arrive at the test center just in time. They sit down with a racing heart, sweaty hands, and the exam starts before they have even regulated their breathing. Their listening section is first because they weren't mentally settled in those opening 30 seconds. they miss the context of section 1 and spend the rest of it trying to recover. And by the time writing comes around, decision fatigue is real. Their task 2 essay, which was coherent and well structured in every mock they ever give, comes out scattered because their brain has been running hot for 2 hours. And in speaking, the examiner says hello and their mind completely goes white. But hey, none of this is about English. All of this is about exam day protocol. Here's a protocol that works. Sleep is non-negotiable. Be in bed by 10 or 11 the night before and do not study anything new after 8 p.m. Eat a light meal before the exam, enough to fuel your brain, not enough to make you sluggish. Arrive 30 minutes early, sit outside, close your eyes for 5 minutes and just breathe. When the exam begins, treat the first 60 seconds of every section as a warm-up, not a test. Let yourself settle. These are not soft suggestions, they are performance decisions. And now, the reason that sits underneath all of the others. Most students have never given a single mock test that actually felt like the real exam. Not one. They've given dozens of mocks, but all of them were comfortable, paused, self-graded, done in familiar surroundings, but with no real consequences for failure. So on the day their exam actually matters, it's the first time they've ever performed under real conditions. The first time their body has been asked to do this under real pressure. That is too late to adopt. The students who maintain their band score from mock to actual are not necessarily the best at English. They are the ones who have made their practice so uncomfortable, so realistic and so demanding that the real exam feels like just another practice session. And that is the mindset shift. That's the entire answer. So let's bring it all together. The gap between your mock test and your actual score comes down to 5 things. A fake environment in practice, outdated or mismatched mock material, zero pressure during preparation, poor exam day protocol, and never once simulating what the real thing actually feels like. Fix these 5 things and that gap disappears. Not partially, completely. Now here's what I want you to do. In the comments, tell me honestly, which of these 5 is the one you have been ignoring? Because awareness is literally the first step to closing that gap. If this video made something click for you today, share it with one person who is preparing for IELTS right now. You might have saved them an entire exam attempt. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep going. Your band score is closer than you think.